Congressman Abalos manifested based on press report that it was the good Senator Sen.Marcos that proposed to slash the budget for 8 billion.
Ang pwede natin gawin, let's make an official inquiry. Paano nangyari yun? Because sana we should have a formal inquiry. Sino yung responsible from here? Nasaan na pagkatapos ng mag-bycam nawala bigla? Letter from the issue of the slashing of the budget. Magkano po yung nawala talaga, Mr. Chair? Sa budget niyo?
Mr. Chair, in the table number, which year, Mr. Chair? 2023-2024.
Yes.
2023, 13 billion. 2024, 6.5 billion.
And would you have an idea as to why this is slashing of your budget?
Mr. Chair, ang assumption ko, if you look at that earlier trend kasi, the department really had underutilized amounts nung 2020, 2021, 2022. And kung titignan nyo yung corresponding slash, parang magkatugma halos yung hindi namin ginamit at yung tinatanggal. I can only assume.
Maybe your assumption, Mr. Secretary, is correct because it jibed with the numbers.
Comes close.
But even if that is correct, and considering that your budget tries to address particularly the PPP beneficiary, the four-piece beneficiaries, did you bother to inquire as to why these slash were made in the first place?
We wrote a reiteration na wag slash and justified why it should not be so for both houses.
And what answer did you get?
We did not get any. Unfortunately, we did not get any, but we weren't expecting rin kasi it was more of asking.
And also, did you ask who was responsible in slashing your budget?
Mr. Chair, we wrote that letter prior to the release of the GAA kasi we were lobbying in both houses na wag mabawasan.
Because the last time we checked, I think the House of Representatives has nothing to do with this. And after the BICAM, some miracles were performed.
Mr. Chair, that is what it seems from this earlier part of this briefing.
I'm not a usual participant in a BICAM. I believe I participated in one BICAM only. And I got frustrated. It's boring. Pag nandun ka, hindi mo alam kung ano nangyayari, Mr. Secretary. Andiyan ang contingent ng Senate, andiyan ang contingent ng House, but there are only two people talking together, isolated from the rest of us. So, ang gusto ko lang itanong sa inyo, kung sino man yung responsible ng pagkakatanggal ng budget ninyo, alam naman nila na merong target people, beneficiaries, more particularly yung four-piece. Did they underestimate your judgment or your capacity to put some numbers to address the needs of the four-piece beneficiaries?
Mr. Chair, I think I can only assume again that at the time of the hearing, even in both hearings, mababa talaga yung utilization namin. Nasa 30%, 17%, because we were cleaning the list. But we kept on repeating, and the minutes will bear me out on all the budget hearings, that I kept on assuring our policymakers na ma-reach namin yung full disbursement because talagang we had a dedicated team doing the listing, the clearing. So we were very confident.
I believe you, Mr. Secretary. As a
that
matter of fact, when you were appointed the Secretary of DSWD, I thought that was the best decision the President ever made.
Thank you.
Ngayon, ang tanong, ikaw na yung nandun eh. Okay, palagay mong wala na tayong sisisiin kung ano man yung mga nakaraan, di ba? Merong, siguro, hindi naman sinasadya yun. Talagang gano'n. Nagka-problema yung iba. So, nagkaroon ng underutilization. But will you utilize that particular issue only para tanggalin mo yung budget, especially now na merong itinalagang secretary who is serious enough to do his job and to address the problems as he see fit?
Mr. Chair, I have to give credit where credit is due, and not because Congressman Tulfo is here. He started the cleaning of the list.
Yes, I know that
He-
also.
during his time, there was an honest to goodness effort to
Yes.
clean the list. And they should have, well, we were hoping that the policymakers saw that effort. Sineryoso talaga yung paglilinis ng listahan.
And considering that there was already a serious effort going to this direction, like for example, Secretary, now Congressman Tulfo did his best also until you succeeded him. Bakit naman dahil lang sa perceived low utilization ng budget ay inislash yung ganito kalaking pera? Kaya ako tinatanong, are they questioning the integrity of the numbers? Kasi buhay itong mga ito. Palagay na natin talaga merong underutilization. But are they supposed to correct a mistake by another mistake, Mr. Secretary?
Well, sana hindi ho. Because like we said, we gave the assurance and during budget season, babalik ko ulit ako dito eh. At matatanong ako ulit na bakit yung pinangako mo hindi pa rin nangyari. Kaya nga pinanindigan talaga namin na ituloy yung paglilinis at seryosohin yung paglilinis. We were probably hoping that they gave us the chance to show full utilization. Total, at the end of the day, babalik kami sa Kongreso to ask for money. At makikita nyo ulit kung noong 2023, hindi namin na-utilize. Then, walang credibility yung hiningi namin ng leeway.
400 or 800,000 households, equivalent to something million four-piece beneficiaries. Yung four-piece PPP, Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, talagang tawid lang eh. So, with this, talagang itatawid mo lang. You are not even sure how far you were able to tawid him. Baka nandun pa rin siya ng edge, di pa siya nakakalayo eh. Pagkatapos, biglang tinanggal itong 8 or 9 billion pesos. What is the quality of the tawid system now? Are you not bothered that some of those people na naitawid mo na, baka sakaling isa-isa nang bumabalik doon sa pinanggalingan nila?
Mr. Chairman, I'm very bothered by that. We are very, very bothered by that. And that's why we, for the record, and I guess it's subject to another hearing, and that's why we will welcome the near poor program, the ACA program. Kasi that's really meant as a crutch for the near poor. I'd like to think na pag non-poor ka dito, hindi ka naman sobrang yaman, nandun ka lang, barely making it in that poverty threshold. And one shock, baka bumalik ka ulit sa ilalim. So, that's a separate topic altogether, but bothered, definitely very bothered.
Yan nga, Mr. Chair, Mr. Secretary, ganun kabuway yung foundation ng program na to eh. Konting galaw mo lang to, baka bumagsak siya uli eh. So, dapat sana kung sino man yung responsible sa gumawa nito, inisip niyang mabuti ito eh. These are 4 million Filipinos who are supposed to be underprivileged na kung kinakailangan suportahan talaga. Ngayon, maring sinasadya niya, maring hindi. Mr. Chair, paano ba natin malalaman kung sino yung responsible dito?
Anyway, that query was directed a while ago to Sec Rex Gatchalian, but of course he cannot answer it because he's not part of the BICAM. But of course, Congressman Abalos manifested based on press report that it was the good Senator Sen.Marcos that proposed to slash the budget for 8 billion, and it is on record now in this committee. Through the manifestation made by Congressman Abalos.
Yeah, but in fairness to Senator Sen.Marcos, Mr. Chair, we cannot make any judgment based on press reports. No? Siguro ang pwede natin gawin, let's make an official inquiry. Paano nangyari yan? Because the good secretary might know that my party list is SAGIP. SAGIP is social amelioration and genuine intervention on poverty because the sector of this representation is the urban poor. Malaki ang stake ko naman dito sapagkat sector ito eh na aking ginagalawan dito. For the longest time I've been representing this. Bakit naman nagkaganon? There should be a reason. Malaking ito eh. Malaking problema to, Mr. Chair. Hindi naman basta naisip niya lang, napanaginipan niya, biglang tatanggalin ito. Simply because there was underutilization here and there. Siguro kung pinag-uusapan natin dito are projects, DPW, wala namang buhay na pinag-uusapan doon eh. Unless hospital ang pinag-uusapan sa ibang. Pero ito kasi, pangsalag sa mga taong, itatawid mo lang yan. Dapat palakasin mo talaga yung, kumbaga sa dapat may mga riprap ka dito para hindi sila bumagsak. Tapos inalisan mo kaagad ng ganito karami. This is a very serious issue, Mr. Chair. Sana we should have a formal inquiry. Sino yung responsible from here? Nasaan na pagkatapos ng mag-bycam nawala bigla? Let us do everything possible. Not only probably to identify who is or are responsible, but maybe better, yung maibalik sana natin ito. I hope it is not too late, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Chair, we appreciate the effort of this chamber to help us cope with this deficit. And we will cooperate with whatever data will be asked from us, as earlier said. We will churn out all the data and send it to the committee.
Yes, nakakaawa ang departamento mo. Sega. How are you coping with this problem?
Well, etong 9 billion, a big chunk of that will come to 4 netong first semester. Kasi nag-submit na ng compliance. So, one, we are now expecting a barrage of grievances. Na kompleto na kami, bakit hindi pa kami nababayaran? But more than anything, ang worry namin is the credibility of the program. Once a program is destroyed sa utak ng isang tao na hindi siya maaasahan, then ang worry namin, it might take time to recoup the reputational damage to the program. So we are working against time. That's why nung sa slide sa January pa lang, nagpunta na kami sa DBM. I spoke to Secmina. We're trying to find a solution even before the train hits us.
You're correct, Mr. Secretary. Mabuti na lang hindi umandar yung papanood natin. Alam ko sasabihin nun siguro kahit di pa natin narinig. Baka wala na siyang tiwala sa program Kapag yung tao kasi nawala ang tiwala sa program, medyo mahihirapan na tayo. Kapag ang tao tiwala sa program, kahit naghihirap tayo, kayang-kaya mong ilaban yun Because people still believe in the program. Di ba, Mr. Secretary?
You're right, Mr. Chairman. In fact, I keep on pointing to them. Nasa likod ni Sec Kimbo yung SNPP. They're a group that represents NCR base, no, or Greater Metro Manila base, nationwide beneficiaries. Dahil kami nag-uusap. In fact, we have arguments kung bakit ma-exit. But at the end of the day, we always leave the room saying na we'll keep on studying. They're part of the group that pointed out the moratorium. They're part of the group that also pointed out the delays. Yung unseen na tawagin namin, yun wala na lang bigla. Dahil sa kanila rin yon. And ang worry ko, alam rin nila to, na tutuligsain rin sila as the officers kung bakit hindi nabayaran. O pinangako na may moratorium, pinangako na nabalik, pinangako na mag-submit, babayaran. So, worried rin kami, pare-parehas. Kasi nag-submit na ng compliance, doon ako na, I'm a bit worried with that. Kung ang tao nag-submit, ibig sabihin done na siya sa assignment niya, our assignment is to credit it to their accounts. And alam niyo ng SNPP, we've had numerous meetings on the moratorium, on the targeting, on the retroactive payment, pati yung unseen na tawagin namin, yun wala. Pinag-usapan namin yan extensively.
We fully sympathize with your predicament, Mr. Secretary. And if anything that you can suggest that this committee will do, please suggest.
We will, Mr. Chairman. We'll collate ways forward also that maybe the committee can consider as a means to move forward. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. Before